Part 1. The dead couple pushes their heads through the soil with dead man wearing a traditional warrior's regalia. And the woman is still pregnant as she had been in her past life. Dead man had been a warrior, a fierce warrior in the past, in his previous life under Mata Karibu. They want Adenebi to take care, to take up their case. But he runs off, and the people wonder what they are doing there, if they are even expected at all. With that man saying, I thought we were expected. Obaneji enters, looks at them, and withdraws. The moke comes in, and that woman asks him to take up his case, but he is also in a hurry. She tells him that she had lived once, and his response is, that was before my time, before she lives too. Rola, another character, comes in a seductive manner, and when that man asks her to take upon her case, she realizes that he is dead, and she becomes afraid. And she tells him, you look disgusting. I suppose you are not a man at all. She scolds him and reminds him that in his condition, he's not supposed to solicit help. That woman bemoans the fact that no one wants to help her, even though she has been summoned back to the world of the living, while that man is ashamed of the treatment given to him by Rola. That man regrets, saying, it was a mistake from the beginning. And that woman's reply is, and I thought when I was asked, I thought here was a chance to return to the living that I may sleep lighter. This already explains to us that the dead cannot have proper rest if they do not receive justice for what had caused their death. The couple wants justice from the world of the living for their death so that they may rest in their graves. That woman has been carrying the child in her stomach for 100 generations. That man consoles himself with the shabby treatment, saying, the world is big, but the dead are bigger. Gunshot sounds are heard afar as the dead couple leave the stage, allowing Rola, Adenebi, Obaneji, and Demoke to enter the stage. Rola complains about an individual who had wandered into her home claiming to be an aunt. She does not appreciate family members when she says, the whole family business sickens me. Let everybody lead their life. Here again we see a contrast. In the past, people used to be very caring about family relations. There was love and communality. But with the changing of times, family ties are being broken to the point that we don't even want to accommodate relations. Adenebi discusses the importance of a proper family life and privacy, as Obaneji remarks that it never used to be a problem. The nuclear family value and communality has started fading away from one generation to another. The group sits down on tree trunks and rocks, arguing. Rola is in favor of the way the world works in the present, in her sarcasm saying, I suppose you wouldn't like to come and live with a pack of dirty, yelling grandmas and flea-beating children. Obaneji has invited the mortals, humans, into the forest to dance as a welcome for the dead. He wants to find out from Demoke why he is out of town on a great day that commemorates his artistic work and prowess, the carving of the great totem. The others are impressed with Demoke's handicraft and wonder why should he not be present to receive the people's admiration. As Adenebi says, but I don't see why you are sitting here. You should be in town drinking in the admiration. Demoke tells him that he had been commissioned to carve a tree before the area was cleared out, and it is at that moment that it dawned on him that it was meant for the gathering of the tribes. He says, for one thing, I did not know what it was about. The council met and decided that they wanted it done in secret. The tree was in the grove of Oro, so it was impossible to keep it hidden. Later learned it was meant for the gathering of the tribes. Ironically, all other trees are cut down, exposing the totem, and he refuses to partake in the feast. As he puts it, it was no longer my work. I fled from it. Adenebi is surprised by Demoke's reaction when he asks him, "Have you no sense of history?" Obaneji tries to find out why Adenebi has come to the forest, and he replies, "I have a heart. Too much emotion upsets me," and adds, "This is the era of greatness. Unfortunately, it is those who cannot bear too much of it to whom the understanding is given." The dead man and woman re-enter, and Demoke and Rola walk away while the dead couple go back the way they had come. Morete. A tree demon wants to come out of his habitat, but he retreats when Aroni enters. Aroni hits the trunk, and Morete bellows in pain while he confronts Morete for not leaving the forest that day when he is needed most by forest head. Morete's reply is simple. Today, there happens to be much fun among the living. Morete also informs him that a Shoro had come and bit off the top of the tree. Aroni wants to partake in the feast, welcoming the dead, but Morete declines the offer, saying, "These rites of death, I do not know why you take them on." He also reveals having seen a group of 4 mortals in the forest. Morete arouses Aroni's curiosity, and the latter summons him out of the tree to find out if he had seen the dead couple as well. He informs Aroni that he has only seen Agboreko, and the mortals are angry at them for sending accusers rather than illustrious ancestors as they had demanded. Aroni also wants to know when last Morete had seen Ogun, and alludes to the fact that one of the humans is a carver, and he does not want interference from him. Morete has not seen Ogun, and Aroni tells him that he will send words when he can. Go on his debauchery. And he says, "Don't leave your house for the moment. I will send word when you may go on debauchery." When Aroni exits and Morete gets back into his habitat while Boreko enters in white regalia, and everything is carrying a bowl of millet, wine. Morete asks him to leave, and he begins to drink some of the wine. Ogun takes advantage of Morete's drunkenness to ask where the 4 mortals had gone to, which he indicates. Ogun also wants to know if Demoke is among them, as Morete identifies Ogun, and the latter tells him that he has been sent by Aroni. When a Shoro's name is mentioned, Morete becomes belligerent in, "I'll bite off your dash, and it is my affair if the woodcutter lopped off your big top. You take up too much room anyway. Who do you think you are?" and faints. Ogun acknowledges that it is his axe that has been used to carve the tree, when he says it was my iron that cicatrized his naked skin. He takes the blame of Demoke's carving of the Araba tree, which is a sacred tree, and therefore to him he should not be punished, because he did it under his spirit and guide. The 4 humans re-enter gossiping about dead man and dead woman. They discuss the fact that Aroni had taken control. That is when the guilty becomes afraid. Obaneji discusses the fact that he is a high-up clerk and knows many of the nation's secrets. I know too much about people, far too much. He complains about how much he knows, but later on reveals that he enjoys the lighter side of keeping records. He loves collecting records of peculiar things, and he loves lorries. He reveals that an office worker had taken bribe, and they had piled 70 passengers in a lorry that could only take 70 passengers, causing it to be involved in an accident and had burst into flames. Out of the 70 passengers on board, only 5 had survived, and the lorry was later named the incinerator. Adenebi insists that it is not one of their lorries, and informs them that he is the official orator of the council, pushing Obaneje, who wants to close his file and wants Adenebi to help him to identify the person who had taken the bribe. When he says, "You see, I want to close my file on this particular lorry, the incinerator, and my records won't be complete unless I have the names of the man, the name of the man who did it. You know, the one who took the bribe." Adenebi becomes defensive, saying, "Since you are so clever and so knowledgeable, why don't you find that out yourself?" And continues, "Then to hell with your records. Have you no feelings for those who died? Are you just an insensitive human block?" To which Obaneje blames the bribed officer for the death of innocent lives, saying, "Your bribe taker was only a small murderer. He wasn't even cold-blooded. He doesn't really interest me so much. I shall be writing his name in small print." Rolla suggests and echoes the fact that he deserves to be hanged. Demokore remarks that he works with fire as a carver. He's not afraid of it, but he will not want to die. He says he would rather fall from a great height, thus alluding to his apprentice, Oremole. He says, "If I can pull my body up further than it will go, I will willingly fall to my death." Rolla treats Demoke's utterance as senseless, and they toast the question of how to die from one to the other. Rolla chides Obaneje by saying, "Why don't you confess it? You are the type who would rather die in your bed." And he is indignant and wonders why that should be something to be ashamed of. Rolla tries to kiss him abruptly. He throws her off, and Adenebi scolds Obaneje for being so violent. He apologizes for being violent and asks, "I have a particular aversion to being mauled by women." Rolla curses him for not having more sexual experience, and he will die in his bed lonely when she says, "I don't suppose you have ever in your life dared to hold a woman in your life, dared to hold a woman in your arms." Obaneje believes that he is safe in the presence, and he tells them, "Recognition is a curse I carry with me. I don't want to know anymore. I thought I was safe with you. I thought I was safe with you. I thought you all wanted to be quiet." In this part of part 1, we understand that the dead have been summoned to have a dance with the living. But the dead are coming with the intention that they can get justice for their death and they can rest in their graves. Unfortunately, none of the living recognizes or are willing to receive them. They had wanted illustrious ancestors, and they have sent to them accusers. But at the same time, we are also introduced to the element of corruption, especially as the official of the council had taken bribe to put in 70 passengers in a lorry that could only take 40 passengers, leading to the death of innocent people. Bribery, corruption in general, had become so rampant in Nigeria. And Obaneje wants the reader to understand that the bribe giver is as guilty as the bribe taker. And therefore, those who commit offenses while in office, they must be punished for whatever crime that they have committed.